Welcome to episode 48 of your Friday Fitcast. I am your host, Matt Storm, and we have a very special guest. She probably has the coolest background that we've ever had on the show in the 48 episodes that we've done. But I do want to welcome, first of all, Miss Jolinda of Jolinda Glam. Welcome to the show, my lady. How are you?
Hey, thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here. How are you?
Always good. And what's great about this is for those of you who don't know who Jolinda is, she's going to pop back on here in just a second. What's great about it is when I did my first show in 2014 in Muscle Mania, she was that person who did a lot of the behind the scenes stuff to not only get ready, also to get a chance to calm the nerves as the stage fright and then the apprehension and everything kind of creeps in. You get the nerves going, and a lot of times when you're in front of people, you don't really know. It's like that quick flash, and you wonder what's going to happen. How is it going to work? And so Jolinda was there for my first show in Muscle Mania. She did my hair. I didn't know that guys needed even sometimes makeup on their face. And you were that person who was there. I was talking about my first show as you popped out and popped back in. And you have a lot of experience. Matter of fact, when did you first start kind of helping out with bodybuilding shows and being kind of an official vendor and partner with certain organizations and doing bodybuilding and fitness shows?
Oh my goodness. That's first off, that's an awesome question. I love that question. It's been since 2010. So that's a long time. I'm dating myself. That's a long time. And that's for bodybuilding. That's for competition hair and makeup. But I've been in the glam beauty industry since the 90s. So I'm really dating myself.
Uh, you know what though? What you're doing is you're showing the experience and credibility that you have, because we have a lot of people in the industry who try and get into the market. And I know that you work with different organizations. I know that you do NFF shows, for example, with Larry and with Chrissy. And how long have you been doing that with them? Because I had no idea. And I remember going to an NFF show and seeing you. You were busy at work. You were doing all your stuff. And I'm like, there's Jolinda. So when did you start with them?
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. Love, 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 love them. Love that couple. Love them as promoters. Love them as people. I've been with them since they started, like since day one, and I believe they started whenever they part or it was San Antonio. I can't remember the year, but if I had to think, I'd say at least 6 or 7 years ago.
Wow. You also did Muscle Mania with Dwayne Malone. That's how I first was introduced to you, was with Dwayne and Charles. I know that they ran great shows here in Texas, and they were really, I mean, on the rise in the tested world. And I know that NFF started shortly thereafter. So I think a lot of where you and I have the same kind of relationships with the same people, what we find is I've seen you work. And one of the things that I noticed about the women competitors specifically, they're very, very nervous because they have more things to worry about than guys. Guys just make sure, hey, the trunks fit or the board shorts fit. Yeah, I'm going to throw something in the hair and make sure the tan's okay. Women are extremely, I want to say selective, not picky, selective when it comes to them matching their suit with their eyeshadow, making sure they're on time, because bikini typically goes at the end and then bodybuilding goes first. So women bodybuilders need to get it, figure, wellness, so and so, so and so. So, how is it that you have really stood out? Because I've noticed you are extremely professional. You're extremely good at what you do. How many shows have you done at this point? Can you even count that high?
Oh, first off, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate those kind words. Thank you so much. And it's definitely a privilege to be able to do this. And I think that that what has set me apart from the rest is just I bring me to it, and that's just kind of part of my normal personality, my normal energy, and I just bring that to whatever I do, whether it's a fitness show or a wedding or me at my salon. Like, I've literally been in this industry for so many years, and I started out just behind the chair, and then it kind of just grew. And then before I knew it, I was only behind, or I am only behind the chair, like selected days throughout the month. And then the rest of the time, I'm traveling and getting to be a part of the glam of awesome events like the one that's going to be coming up with you, and things like that. But really, to answer your question, I feel like what's caused me to just stand out is just me being authentically me and bringing, I guess, my personal and professional just kind of merge. And yeah, just that's what I do.
So I want to get personal here because I know you're not technically in Houston. I've seen you go through a
Mhm.
transformation. You've lost an amount of weight that is extremely admirable. You have really taken care of yourself and gotten yourself into shape. Now, does that have any direct correlation in being involved in fitness shows? Because I noticed that when I saw you, I'm like, you're a whole new you. What's been the difference with you, and why did you make the decision to start changing and moving in that direction?
Oh my goodness, another awesome question. I love it. Very great question. So, I feel like it's kind of like, you know how you can plant a seed and then eventually you water it and it grows. And that's with anything. I mean, we can take it back to biblical times when I remember my grandmother is like, "Girl, you're going to go to church cuz I'm gonna just put it in you now, and then when you get older, you'll take yourself," things like that. And so the seed was there every single time I went to a fitness show. Every single time I was a part of a fitness show, I would get inspiration. I would get the inspiration. I would get just the motivation. I would get everything, and I would want to make those changes because I would see it. But the thing that I didn't have at that time was the mindset. And obviously, mindset is everything. Everything. You can even have motivation, but if you don't have the mindset to pair with it, then it fizzles. And so, to be totally honest, I know everything's all designed the way it's supposed to. And I knew that I knew that I was in the end, or I knew that I was part of the fitness industry. But I totally honest, I didn't even think that and I hate to say that about myself, but it's true. I didn't think that I had the motivation, the willpower, the strength to even. I didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I could do it. And I had so many awesome, beautiful souls that had offered to train me, help me, supplements, just diet plans, meal plans. So I think everybody had, I mean, a lot of people had a part in my transformation because they really have been planting seeds in me for years. But what did it was the pandemic, 2020, the pandemic, just being able to have that alone time to just think. Because for my industry, which is the beauty industry, we came to a stopping point. I know the pandemic hit everyone differently. I know some people got to continue to work. I didn't. And so whenever I went from full force, just like you said, I'm not even living in Houston, but so many people thought I was because I would go to Houston so many times. When we first met, you live in Houston, but when we first met,
And you're still going. So we lost the audio feed just for a second. She's going to pop back in here in just a second. I wanted to mention something because as we're talking with Jolinda, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see on Facebook, you can follow her at Jolinda Glam. And she's also on the website. So if you look at the Storm Classic Show website, she is our exclusive partner and vendor. And also you can follow her on IG at Glam Team by Jay, as well as Glam Team by Jolinda. So she owns both of those pages. She is available by direct message, and she is also available through her website as well as Facebook. So we want to make sure and give you all the handles for Jolinda, because for those of you ladies who are already registered, you will be able to contact her directly for your appointment. Hair and makeup. I almost said tanning, and I guess that's hair and tanning. So we have TJ Kelly from Sunkist, which is going to be pro tan. But Jolinda is specific in making sure that she wants to talk to you directly to find out what your needs are and customize. So you were speaking about the pandemic specifically, and I thought that was a great time for a commercial break because I forgot to introduce you and your handles on how people can get into contact with you and how people can follow you. So when you were around the pandemic, you said that the motivation and the mindset and you were coming to Houston, what changed with you, let's say just activity wise in the gym, and what changed with you as far as what you were eating? Did you change those two things drastically, or was it a gradual thing? How did that work for you?
Yeah, great question. Love those questions. Love those questions. It was, I would say it was gradual. It definitely was a gradual thing, but it was really, it started with mindset. Once my mindset changed, then I felt like I could. I felt like, well, maybe I could like try to do something, you know. And next thing I know, I started joining Camp Gladiator, and that really very beneficial, very beneficial. And I don't even know what drew me to Camp Gladiator other than I was in the park. I love nature. I was in the park and I heard these people exercising, but more than I heard them exercising, I heard them having fun. Like I could hear them having fun, kind of playing, still exercising, still, but I could hear them saying affirmations and all kinds of things. And so after their class was over, I went over and I spoke to them and I was like, hey, what are y'all doing? And how do I join? And so that was kind of how the physical part started. But as far as the dieting, literally, I got blessed with different meal plans, and then once my motivation, it just kind of all paired from there.
So you have a pretty good support system. Do you have like an inner circle that you talk to daily? Was it just really Camp Gladiator that continues to hold you accountable personally or privately? What are some of your factors for staying on course? Because I don't know if you want to share with us where you started and where you are now. I can see a tremendous difference. And so, for those of you who don't know Jolinda, as far as her journey, what continues to make Jolinda tick? We've got some good fun challenges too. So you'll see her pop back in and out. I'll rephrase that question here in just a second. From what I see over the last, let's see, it's been 2014 to 2022 at this point. And, knowing that someone has made an 8-year difference and kind of seeing them here and there and not specifically just having a conversation, what really is allowing us to get blessed is maybe someone who has been around the industry, who has changed little things in their life to make a gargantuan difference. And, I really love to see that, during competitions, you might hear of people losing 50 pounds, 100 pounds. And, when they're asked in kind of an impromptu interview on the spot, how did you do that? A lot of what Jolinda said is very common to hear. I had to change my mindset to believe that I could do it. I think a lot of the times when we think, I want to change, but I don't know if I can. And that's the first step. And then once you know you can, well, how do I change? What's the next step? It's making sure that you're moving your body around. It's making sure that you're eating the right things. A lot of people, I find a very common answer as far as someone saying, you know what, I just cut sugar out and things started to change. My body started to heal. I just got out of the house during the pandemic. I started walking to the tree and back, and then I went to the stop sign the next day, and then I went around the block the next. It was those little baby steps, and I think what really was heard so far was I had a seed that was planted. If you continue to hang around the people and the environments that foster healthy activity, a lot of the times that rubs off on you, whether you see it, you hear it, you feel it, you experience it. Those are those little baby steps where I believe that if you're around a toxic environment, it continues to be a downward spiral. When you're in a healthy environment, you naturally want to take those steps forward. And I think that Jolinda has been one of those people that has allowed others through her experience to be inspired by what she has done, what she is doing, and what she'll continue to move towards. So I'm very excited to have her as one of our exclusive partners for hair and makeup, as I know she does a tremendous job. So for those of you who haven't checked out her site yet, and for those of you who don't follow her on Instagram, when you go see some of the work that she's done, she is one of the best in the business. I trust her not only with male, but with female athletes to be able to do top notch premium work. and also produce that consistently, whether we have 60 or 70 girls or 6 or 700 girls. And, what's great about it is the sooner that you're able to contact her, the more organized she can be to make sure that she's got a fully trained staff. She comes prepared with resources. She already has her stuff booked. When we talked, I initially interviewed 3 people for this vendor or partnership type style. And what's great about it is she was first place, easy in my mind for her to be able to do the necessary things to handle the workload with those folks. Yeah, I was bragging about you for a little bit, Jolinda.
Thank
And I have to say that it is a really interesting journey. So, what continues, if you don't mind me kind of picking up on the question, what
you.
continues in your mind to stay on this health journey? Are you doing it for someone, for your family, or are you doing it for yourself?
I'm totally doing it for myself, and I'm totally doing it for anyone that's had challenges with emotional eating. I'm totally doing it for anyone that's had challenges thinking that, oh, that's cool, for that person, but I can't do it. I don't have the mindset. So, yeah, I'm doing it for me, but I'm definitely doing it for the everyday, average, regular smuggler. You can do it too.
Love that. What I was talking about earlier is I interviewed people to make sure that we had the right hair and makeup team. And you've always produced an amazing team that is professional, consistent, premium level quality. And, something that I really appreciate about you is when we talked, you immediately said, "Where's the hotel? I'm booking that." How do competitors, whether we have 60 or 600 girls coming to you, and even guys in that matter, because you'll probably have some guys do some touch up on the face as far as makeup or hair. What is the best way for competitors to directly get in touch with you for Storm Classic, who they're doing the show with you exclusively? What's the best way?
Awesome question. I love it. Um, I would definitely say my email, which is jolindaglam@gmail.com. Um, that would be the best way.
Cool. Cool.
Definitely,
And
that would
then,
be the best way. You really, there's other information. Mhm. But go ahead. I would
no,
just say that's the best way. Go ahead.
perfect. No, that's great. I think a lot of the times people want to see work, right? If you think about an artist, and I'm not just talking about a makeup artist, I'm talking just about an artist in general. They want to see the gallery. They want to see, what have you done? How often do you do it? And you're someone who has consistently shown that, I think, on their Instagram as well as their Facebook page. And so, as we go through, I think that's important that you do check out her work and understand and see some of the amazing things that
I,
she's done, how she complements as well as matches. And color matching and complementing is very important
mhm.
because every single person is a little different as far as what makes their features great. How to trim the jawline, how to bring out the cheeks, just those little things, how to match a tan with makeup and get really close, if not dead on. Because I've seen competitors go on that don't necessarily have their face tanned, and you can definitely tell that the judges are looking at that. And that's one of the things that we look for as well. So as we go through, I don't know if you're still with us. You might be a little bit pixelated. Can you hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up if you can, because you just came in really clear for a second. I hear you. So I hear the background going, and what we'll do is we will get a chance to also see if the connection does allow for a little bit better. As I know that for those of you who don't know, Jolinda lives in a very remote part, so internet access is kind of hard to come by sometimes. And we were planning for this just in case this happened. And as I go through, I think that for those of you who are thinking about competing, there's going to be 3 types of people who are watching. And I see some of the comments coming through. So continue to ask questions and continue to have the comments rolling in if you do have something. I know some of you have used her in the past and you're like, okay, so how much are blank? This, and this. It's for something for you to personally get in touch with her. She has her phone number on the site as well as her logo, email, Instagram handles, and Facebook handles. So we wanted to make sure and get everything on there so that way you can contact her directly. The reason why we don't do scheduling specifically on an auto scheduler is because depending on the services that you're getting for the show, she's going to get you in priority accordingly. So I want to make sure that she has that personal touch for you. And so that's one of the reasons why her email and her phone number is directly on the site. And she can get those custom times, those areas that you need, and then she can specifically talk pricing as far as getting you in taken care of. So, as we kind of wrap this up, Jolinda, I would love to hear just as far as anything that you have that maybe people need to know about you or people that might not know about you, something that's interesting. That's going to be kind of a loaded question, but anything that you want people to know about you and your services. And we lost you for the last time. So we'll pick this back up, and we'll get a chance to see if we can get a stronger signal and stronger connection. I did want to introduce you to that partner, so that way you did have her on your radar, as I know that we've had a good number of registrations. We've had also a lot of questions about, hey, how do I get my tanning? Tanning works the very same way. One of the great things about TJ Kelly is she is a professional when it comes to a bikini pro. And I will tell you, she's at the top of the food chain when it comes to her competing. She's also at the top of the food chain when it comes to tanning. And she runs some of the largest shows in the country. And her husband travel around the US. And, if I name some of the shows that they've done, those are the big ones. And so we wanted to bring in the A team for this section as well in this half. And that's one of the reasons why I reached out to them. They're going to be flying in, and we're going to be having our athletes meeting. And we're also going to be having, starting in the afternoon, open tanning, which means if you get there at 2 o'clock and you want to tan early, you don't have to wait until a 6 p.m. time slot or a 7 p.m. time slot, because we want to make sure that the athletes meeting as a rolling check-in is easy to do. And we also want to make sure it's tanning friendly. So that way we're not interceding or crossing paths with the section for getting the tanning and the meeting mixed up, because we want to make sure that everybody is there for the meeting. We're going to run a short, efficient meeting, and then we're going to continue to go in and get that. So I'm going to bring Jolinda one last time to see if we got this connection. How did we do? Oh, I can see you perfect now. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear and see you perfect now.
Yes.
Now, don't have the beautiful background, but
you got into a good spot. So I
yeah.
would like for the audience to know about you. What's something that's really interesting about you that people might not know if they're not in the fitness industry? I'll put you on the spot and throw you a curveball.
Oh goodness. Something interesting about me that people may not know, and it has nothing to do about fitness. I'm a huge meditator. I meditate every day.
All right. So is that why you're so level and so calm and just you're right here, which is great. Very hard to find with someone who's a true professional like you.
I contributed to it. Yes, I do. I contribute. Yes, I do.
Cool.
Thank you, and thank you so much for that compliment. Thank you.
Oh no, it's really great, because here's why. When it comes to show day, it's very stressful. As you know, for those of you who are competing and it's the first time, you're like, okay, where do I need to be? What do I need to do? Do I need to bring anything? So I just want to cover with you, Jolinda, how we're gonna kind of break this down. Number one is we have a room that is right next to the convention center. That's literally it only is separated by a hallway. So we're gonna have tanning, hair, and makeup in the convention center, which you'll be able to literally get touch-ups on tanning, hair, or makeup, and then immediately be able to go line up and get on stage, as the expediters and the runners are going to be getting you lined up accordingly. And that, by the way, is going to happen in the morning. So what time do you typically start? Let's just say, hypothetically, we have 65 people who are doing hair and makeup with you, or maybe 100, I don't know. What time do you typically start on the day of? Because I know that we've talked about the order and we talked about the time starting. When do you typically start if you have a larger show?
So my team and I are up at 2 in the morning, and we take our first client at 3 in the morning. So it's bright and early, bright and early. But literally, and I love that you said definitely check out pictures of my work and stuff, or our work. It's on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Literally, you can't tell if a girl had a 3 a.m. appointment or 5 a.m. appointment or 6. Their glam looks perfect all day, and that's another reason why we're available for touch-ups. And we love what we do, so it just shows. It definitely shows. It definitely shows. So even though it's bright and early in the morning, literally they look good. And sometimes even after a show, I get to see some of the competitors that have, because we stick around pretty well. We stick around the whole weekend. Even after we're done, we can see each other in the hotel and congratulate them. People that's won, and I'll see them and they'll still have their makeup on, and they're like, I couldn't wash this face. I wore this to dinner. And it just warms my heart. It makes me feel so good that they literally, that makeup was from 3 in the morning. Yes.
Wow.
So, and another little fun fact. I just recently did a show 2 weekends ago, and then one of the competitors, she was transformation, just beautiful soul, but she had texted me the next day with pictures from a photo shoot, and the photo shoot was from the makeup that I did on her the day before. So she slept in it and everything, and she looked flawless, and she got to do photo shoot for her business. So that was
That is
really awesome.
amazing.
So yeah, it
Yeah.
lasts.
What's crazy about that? I'm glad you said that, because Richard Martinez, who is our official stage photographer, he also is NFF as well. So, a lot of times our teams stick together and we do those things. When Richard does a mini shoot, if you're doing something at Moody Gardens, I highly encourage you, if you wanted to wash it off, if Jolinda's around, make sure and ask her, hey, what would you charge for, another session if you're there? Because Jolinda ended up booking the hotel. We went through the lineup. We went through the procedures. We went through the policies. We went through everything. We had a really good call. And what I really like is she functions independently to make a vital part of the show run smoothly. What you'll see here are the biggest pitfalls, and I know that you might not have ever been shared with this. As a promoter, we need to make sure that the girls are tanned and makeup, right? And so a lot of times when the order isn't released until the day of, they don't know. So for those of you who are looking for the order, we will have bodybuilding first, we will have classic second, we will have kids fitness, and either wellness or figure in the middle. We go to men's physique, and then we go to women's bikini. So a lot of times Jolinda's able to strategically say, okay, so makeup girls, for those of you who are bodybuilders or physique, you're going to go first, right? Because men's physique goes last. Women's physique is considered bodybuilding. And so a lot of those little logistical things allow that competitor to not have to go straight from the chair from makeup to go glaze, and then glaze to get on stage and not have any time to mentally prepare for the routine. They might have missed pump up. We want to make sure that the environment and the logistical procedure from an athlete going from where they need to go, giving them plenty of time, and also allowing them to focus on being their best on the anywhere between 15 seconds to 3 minutes on stage that they're going to be on. So what would you say you're most excited about? Have you ever run the makeup portion at Moody Gardens? Because I think that's important that people know the layout.
Oh yeah, definitely. Beautiful resort, beautiful location, and yes, definitely have been there. And so yeah, the layout and like you said, you did an awesome job describing it. Like you said, it's a wall that's going to separate it, so that's awesome.
And I think that with what we've discussed, I'm just really excited to have you as a partner. You're also going to be on the poster. For those of you who have never seen Jolinda Glam's logo, when you see it, my heart warms up and my face lights up, because I'm like, yes, first class team. We got the A team. So I know that Larry and I have been talking. And are you doing all the NFF shows or just the ones here in Texas?
Actually, I've been doing all of them, and we expanded to Lubbock and one more city this year, Lubbock and Hub City this year. So yeah, and if we expand to outside of Texas, then I would love to do that too. So yeah.
Very cool.
Or
Well,
when? Sorry, I didn't mean to say I didn't mean to say if, because there's power in your words. When we expand outside of Texas, then yes.
There you go. And I know that that's happening. I know New Mexico and I know Arizona is on the books as well. As you know, I have no dog in the fight with NFF, which means I love what Larry and Chrissy are building. They have done a great job building this thing from the ground up, continuing to expand, continuing to grow. You know, a lot of the NFF athletes like to compete in a non-tested show at the Storm Classic as well. And since we are non-sanctioned, what's great about it is we're able to have every organization compete. For those of you who know any organization, it's friendly to be able to go do a show that not necessarily is governed by a certain rule, or, you know, we don't want to limit our athletes to the stage. And I think that's one of the things that you'll see is a lot of returners from the show that have been doing in the past, as well as new faces that want to come on board, that want a shot at that $20,000 in prize money in our open division. So this has never been done before. And I have to say, Jolinda, I'm just so glad you've kind of locked arms with us. We've gotten the chance to really work well together in the past, and I have a feeling we're going to work really well in the future and coming up here in October. So I just want to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I want to thank you for being on here with me. So if just one last thing, if you can just kind of tell everybody who joined late, because we had a few folks join late, what is the best way to get in touch with you if they're already registered or they're considering registering and want to have makeup and hair done by you?
Great question again. Please email me, and my email is jolindaglam@gmail.com. JOLINDAGLAM@gmail.com.
You know what we did?
And thank
we hit
you,
it exactly on the dot.
Likewise.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. You were saying something.
Oh, I was going to say it again, likewise. And thank you. I'm just super duper excited to be a part of it. And I'm just excited. I'm very excited to grow, to continue growing with like you said, it's something new, and I'm excited.
Very cool. Well, we're excited to have you. And what's great about it is we hit this right on the dot with 30 minutes. I'm shocked that we were able to do that. And you nailed it. So for those of you who are tuning in on the replay, you can feel free during the week. If, you know, usually it's within a 24 to 48 hour response on either a phone call or a text or through an email. Email is always easier because there's a paper trail. We can always go back and look and say, what did we talk about on May 7th or May 14th? And so that way we can go back and see. And if you do want to talk to Jolinda by phone, her number and her text is actually on the site at thestormclassicshow.com. But we're super excited to have you and glad to have you on the show. And we'll be seeing more of you throughout the bodybuilding events and fitness events that we go to as well. So for those of you who just joined us and were brand new, I'm excited to have you. And I know a lot of you are just kind of checking us out as far as what the show is about. And we'll be more than happy to answer any questions at stormclassicshow.com. You can check us out on Facebook as well as Instagram. And we'll look forward to partnering up and having what seems to be a tremendous 2022 landmark, groundbreaking, and forward thinking. So until then, episode 49, we'll catch back up with you soon. Take care. We'll see you then.